There's a moment when the energy around you shifts. People who used to clap for you go quiet, not because you failed, but because you're starting to win in a way they can't keep up with. And that's when something dangerous begins. Not loud, not obvious, but calculated. They stop supporting you, start watching you, studying you, and slowly, they begin to move against you without you even realizing it. A small comment here, a little doubt there, a joke that doesn't feel like a joke. And if you don't catch it early, you'll think it's normal. You'll think it's just how people are. But it's not. It's jealousy. And once you see the signs, you'll never look at people the same way again. Because jealous people don't come at you directly. That would be too obvious, too risky. Instead, they move differently. They smile when you're around, act supportive, say the right things. But behind your back, it's a different story. Small comments, quiet doubt, subtle shifts in energy you can't quite explain. And over time, it starts to affect you. Your confidence, your decisions, your momentum. The scary part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. They think it's stress or overthinking. Until one day, they look back and realize someone was slowly pulling them down the entire time. There's always that one person, at work, in your circle, maybe even someone you trust. At first they're all in. They hype you up, like your posts, tell you, "I'm proud of you." It feels real, genuine, like they actually want to see you win. But then something shifts, not suddenly, but slowly. The moment things start working for you, a promotion, more attention, real progress, their energy changes. The compliments get shorter, less frequent, less real. Nice? Good for you. That's it. No excitement, no depth. Just enough to not seem rude. And then you start noticing little things. They don't ask about your wins anymore. They change the topic when you bring it up. Sometimes they go quiet. Sometimes they joke. But it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels sharp, like there's something underneath it. And now you're confused, because nothing obvious happened. No argument, no fight, just a slow shift from support to silence, from silence to something that feels off. And the worst part? You start questioning yourself. Am I overthinking this? No, something's not right. Here's the truth most people never realize. Jealousy isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't always look like hate. It's quiet, calculated, strategic, because when someone knows they can't compete with you, they don't step up and try to beat you. That would require discipline, focus, growth. Instead, they take a different route. They try to slow you down, they confuse you, distract you, pull your attention away from what's actually working. Because if you lose momentum, they don't have to catch up. You come back down. Think about that. It's not about them winning. It's about you not getting too far ahead. And the scariest part? They don't always realize they're doing it. It's subconscious. Your progress triggers something in them, a reminder of goals they didn't chase, risks they didn't take, potential they didn't use. And instead of facing that, they project it through doubt, through subtle negativity, through energy that feels off but hard to explain. Not because they hate you, but because your growth forces them to confront their own lack of movement. And that's uncomfortable. So instead of growing with you, they try to shrink you, just enough to feel okay again. And if you're not aware of it, you start adjusting yourself, playing smaller, second-guessing your moves, holding back your wins, just to keep the peace. And that's exactly how they win. Not by becoming better, but by making you less. See, when people start feeling behind in life, something shifts inside them. It's not always obvious, but it's real, because deep down, they know where they should be, and they know they're not there. Now they have two choices. They can level up, or they can pull others down. And leveling up, that's uncomfortable. That requires discipline when you don't feel like it, consistency when no one is watching, effort without immediate results. Most people don't want that. So they choose the easier path. They criticize, they gossip, they minimize your wins, not loudly, but just enough to make your success feel smaller. Because if they can shrink your progress, they don't feel as far behind. Let that sink in. It was never about what you achieved. It was about what your achievement reflects back to them. Your growth becomes a mirror, and that mirror shows them everything they've been avoiding, the risks they didn't take, the effort they didn't give, the discipline they didn't build. And instead of fixing that, they try to distort the reflection by bringing you down. Because if you look smaller, they don't have to feel so small. They don't compete. They sabotage quietly. You won't always see it right away. It shows up in small ways. A comment like, "Yeah, but it's not that big of a deal," or "You just got lucky." They downplay your effort, ignore your progress, act like what you're doing is normal, easy, nothing special. But you know the work it took, the late nights, the stress, the consistency. And yet, they make it feel small. Sometimes they go even further. They start copying you, your ideas, your moves, your style, not because they respect it, but because they want to prove they can do it too. And when they can't match your results, that's when it shifts. The energy gets heavier, more negative. They start planting doubt. Little jokes that don't feel like jokes. Backhanded compliments like, "Must be nice." Subtle digs hidden in casual conversations. All designed to do one thing: get inside your head, make you second guess yourself, slow you down. Because the moment you hesitate, the moment you stop pushing forward, they feel relief. Not because they're winning, but because you're no longer ahead. But here's where everything changes. The moment you see it clearly, everything starts to shift. You stop taking things personally, because now you understand it was never really about you. You stop explaining yourself, stop over-justifying your decisions, stop trying to make everyone comfortable with your growth, because you realize something most people never do. Not everyone deserves access to your journey, and not everyone is meant to understand your path. So you move differently, you speak less, you observe more, you protect your energy, and most importantly, you stop trying to prove anything, because people who are truly focused on their own growth don't have time to watch yours. They're too busy building, improving, evolving. They don't gossip, they don't compete emotionally, they don't try to pull others down. So the moment you feel that negative energy, that subtle resistance, that quiet tension, you don't react, you recognize it, and you keep moving forward, because now you understand. Your job isn't to convince people. Your job is to continue becoming someone they can't ignore. So what do you actually do? You don't fight them. You don't argue. You don't try to expose them, because that pulls you into their game, and their game is distraction. Instead, you outgrow them, silently. You protect your energy like it matters, because it does. You become more selective with what you share, less talking, more doing. You stop announcing every move, stop looking for validation, and start focusing on execution. You build in private, you improve when no one is watching, and you let your results speak for you. Because results don't need explanation, they don't need approval, they speak loud enough on their own. And here's the key: the stronger you get, the less you react. No emotional responses, no defensive energy, just clarity and direction. Because the moment you react, you lose focus. And focus is your advantage, so you stay locked in, on your goals, on your growth, on your next level. Because the most powerful response to jealousy isn't proving them wrong. It's becoming so consistent, so disciplined, that their opinion becomes irrelevant. Progress over reaction, every single time. Because at the end of the day, jealous people don't lose because of you. They lose because they made a choice, a quiet decision, to compare instead of improve, to watch instead of work, to judge instead of grow. And that choice, it costs them everything. Meanwhile, the moment you stop chasing validation, stop explaining your path, stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, everything starts to shift. Your focus sharpens. Your energy returns. Your direction becomes clear. Because now, you're not reacting anymore. You're building. You're not competing for attention. You're creating value. You're not playing their game. You've stepped out of it completely. And that's where real power lives. Not in proving people wrong, but in becoming so aligned with your path that their opinions don't even reach you anymore. So let them watch, let them doubt, let them talk, because while they're busy doing that, you're moving forward, quietly, consistently, unstoppable. And once you truly understand this, once it clicks, once you feel it, you don't go back, you don't shrink, you don't explain, you just evolve. And trust me, once you see the game for what it is, you can't unsee it.